Welcome to part 2 of Ballbusters, the brand new show on Drizzle Show. So, as I was talking about in the past episode, I kind of went into a little bit detail about the hidden societies and things like that. So let's talk about um, what they don't want us to know. There are societies that are very similar to the movie Eyes Wide Shut, where they do perform rituals and satanic worship and um, Middle Age magical, ceremonies and things like that. Let's not be stupid about it. Um, for example, I mean, there's celebrities like Johnny Depp. Um, there's also other people such as Miley Cyrus, who was a part of the Illuminati. Uh, and that's something else I'm going to talk about in this video is that I think the majority of Hollywood, I'm going to say about 99% of the people have to have some form of link with the Illuminati. Um, Now, the Illuminati has been influencing our pulp culture, media, uh, rumors, music, um, boy, I mean, commercials, movies, video games, um, for so many years to the point now to where it's not really uh, acceptable to really talk about it, even though there are people like Rihanna who are involved in it. Um, so it's not just average people. I mean, there's tons of people who are involved in these secret societies. It's just a matter of pinpointing individuals, which right now there's so many members to where we don't really even know how many we're talking about. Um, but one thing that is really strange is that if you go back a few years, like we're talking 2010, um, there are early videos of interviews with people like Katy Perry and Miley Cyrus and some of the other, female artists who are popular now, um, to where they admit that they had sold their soul basically to these societies to gain popularity, to sell records, to be famous. That's what they wanted from they were teenagers. Um, so I absolutely believe that cults influence Hollywood and what goes on there. I think that these societies have been around since the 1930s. We've seen cases where celebrities have found too much, basically, and then wiped out, either murdered or basically just taken care of. Look at the situation with several plane crashes that have happened in the last 10 years. Um, Most of the people who were involved in those plane crashes were either celebrities or people who worked in the film or music industry, who were taken out basically because they knew too much information. Um, so let's not, you know, sugarcoat this shit here. Let's face the facts that the Illuminati does exist, um, and we need to start realizing that um, we can't think of this world as puppy dog, rainbow, and fucking ice cream. Like, everybody in Hollywood has some form of connection to a secret society. I mean, look at Mel Gibson, for God's sakes. Look at his rant that he did several years ago. I mean, that got him in trouble to the point to where people didn't cast him in roles for so many years. Look at people like Mike Myers. You know, he had incidents with the paparazzi and press too. Uh, I mean, Jim Carrey, for example, Johnny Depp. Um, Most of these people don't do interviews anymore because they know that they're going to be set up basically to make themselves look like assholes in public. Um, Obviously, there was a scandal with Chris Brown. I mean, look at the OJ case, for example. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that he's guilty. I mean, for God's sakes, he wrote a book that said, "What if I did it?" Come on, seriously. Um, that's what I'm saying too. Is that the people who get away with getting rid of these people who find too much information out, they are never punished. They are never brought to justice. There's never any legal action against any of these people. They've never been arrested or prosecuted for any of their crimes. Um, so I think that Hollywood can be very corrupt, especially for young actors. I mean, look at people from like the '80s, for example. Like a lot of the children superstars from that era all had legal issues. They all got into different gangs and groups of people who were involved with drugs and alcohol, and it really ruined their lives. I mean, some people lost all their money because they spent half their life in jail. Look at Robert Downey Jr. for example. Um, Look at I mean Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, um, half the cast. I mean, from like Growing Pains, families and members from Family Ties. Some of the I think the girl off that show had a rough life after that show was canceled. Um, so I feel like a lot of these people were corrupt by the Illuminati. So what we need to realize is the world is not puppy dogs and rainbows anymore.